This episode of WoW Weekly is brought to you by WoWweekly.net, your source for Warcraft and Blizzard news, guides, and editorials.
This week in Warcraft, Tumbleweeds and Siege of Orgrimmar. I'm Mezzy and welcome to our weekly. This is episode number 27, and this week joining me are LJ. How are you, LJ?
Good evening, and I'm fine. And yourself?
Very tired. I might be becoming sick, so that sucks.
Good timer.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I don't have enough things to do as it is. Also joining us tonight, Matt. How are you, Matt?
Good as always.
Good to hear. So let's get right into it then. First of all, before we get into Orgrimmar, because, yeah, let's try and push that away as much as we can. The Twitter folk were getting antsy yesterday with another week lack of news regarding Warlords of Draenor. So they decided to make a few charts. Now, let me see if I can get it on the screen. Let's start with the first one. And this one will show basically how long each major patch has lasted. Matt and LJ should be able to see it on the dock. And looking at it, keep in mind that the first rating tier Mist of Pandaria lasted for both 5.0 and 5.1. Now, if we look at the chart, it actually then is on par pretty much with the first tier of Cataclysm.
Yeah.
Although, now that I think about it, the first patch in Cataclysm was the Troll patch. So that was still the same raid tier, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Looking at the first patch, at least between Mist of Pandaria and Cataclysm, MOP was actually a lot shorter on time spent in one raid tier.
Yeah, like you said, it only shows the major patches, so it doesn't show the major tiers. That is the other, the other graph.
Yeah.
But it does show, like, how the game has gone down in time, basically.
Yeah, each patch is shorter.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, not counting the original game because, well, it was the original game. It wasn't an expansion.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just look at Burning Crusade, compare that to Mist of Pandaria, I mean, there's a lot more and a lot more variation to it.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I think it goes to show that this is actually more or less hard proof that the patches have become less, not only like in duration, but with that quality.
Yeah, in general, it's been quite good that it has been shorter, at least the other patches. Let's go right into the raid length chart then, because that's really what is more important for us. And looking at it, yeah, the raid tiers are actually pretty similar for Wrath of the Lich King and Mist of Pandaria. That's kind of surprising. We got out of Naxxramas pretty quickly into Ulduar. And then, looking at how it is actually, Ulduar lasted very shortly. That seems odd.
I don't think Ulduar did take that long. It was a big patch on itself, and Ulduar was a big place. But I don't think we as a guild spent that much time on Ulduar, to be honest. I mean, it was quite. I think we actually did Algalon when the third patch was already out. The Trial of the Crusader, that was, I believe it was.
It
So
came
I
out
think
pretty quickly.
yeah, it came pretty quickly, but I think we were still doing like the second or third week of that. We killed Haugalon servers first, if I remember. So yeah,
Yeah. Matt
Matt is
hasn't
awfully.
said anything, but I assume he might still be chewing on some food.
No,
So,
I'm not. I'm just listening.
all right then, Matt.
Nice, relax.
Since
Have
when do you
any?
actually listen and not comment?
Well, you know.
So moving on, into the second raid tier. Wow, Throne of Thunder lasted long for a second tier raid patch.
Yeah, it did. It's if you look close, it's comparable with Burning Crusade.
Burning
If you-
Crusade was the last one that had a second raid tier that long.
Yeah. So I think Burning Crusade, if I'm looking at it right now, it might be Burning Crusade was a bit larger, but not by much.
Yeah. But let's get to the real important stuff, which is the duration of Siege of Orgrimmar, because the last raid tier, how long it lasts, it kind of gives us, the final feeling of how an expansion was. Let's look at Mists of Pandaria, raid tier C. When the beta starts in the raid tier is indicated by the gray area. And for every single raid tier, for every single last raid tier, the beta came in pretty quickly. Now look at the difference between the Mists of Pandaria yellow bar and Cataclysm yellow bar.
Any yellow bar, basically.
Yeah, or green for the earlier games.
Yeah.
I think that's down to a lot of them trying to get stuff in, trying to get everything sorted. But bear me 2 seconds.
Sure. Let's continue then, LJ. Isn't this insane?
It is quite insane. I think we've already showed our discomfort, to put it like that, with it. It just goes
We're
to show
looking at
that
it in a graph because graphs always give something
Yeah.
extra to it.
exactly. I mean, it makes it tangible, and this really just shows that Mists of Pandaria, that Siege of Orgrimmar is lasting way too long. It's almost a double from what Cataclysm was, or Wrath of the Lich King, for that matter. I mean, it's pretty insane. And I mean, not Siege of Orgrimmar is a okay raid. This is not the best one ever, but it's not the worst one ever as well. I like it pretty. I liked it pretty well, but it's just lasting for too long. I don't know how long they want. I mean, if they're really gonna just wait with the beta or wait with the expansion release date this long, it's not going to be very well for their quarterly numbers.
Yeah. Then looking at the two top bars, they basically give two scenarios of the expansion. How long will it last, including the beta? Now
Yeah.
the top one is how long it could last if the beta lasts as long as the longest
Maximum.
beta, which I believe was Cataclysm,
Yeah.
which was
Yeah.
the Mist of Pandaria beta then.
Yeah.
Um,
Which basically means that Mists of Pandaria, if you look at it as a whole, is one of the longest expansions,
yeah, it
if
will
not
be longer than
of all.
Cataclysm and Burning Crusade.
Yeah.
With
I mean, the only
three
thing,
raid
only
tiers.
thing overpassing it now is the original game, which is logical because it was all built on it. Still has the most content.
Exactly.
But yeah, let's hope not to last that long. Let's hope that we get some word out sooner or later.
Yeah, it has
or
to be a
soon.
short beta then to not
Yeah.
let Siege of Orgrimmar become absolutely the longest raid tier ever.
Yeah, but it's weird though because I think with Myth of Pandaria they did a lot of good things and they tried to do it improve a lot.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show that I don't know if they're really over patching the next expansion, trying to make it picture perfect. But yeah, I think they really need to release a beta sooner or later because otherwise it's going to be have a bad effect. Even if they want to polish up the next
Yeah.
expansion.
Let me interrupt you for a minute. I think there's an echo coming from Matt. I can
Uh-huh.
hear you in the back on that
Is
side.
that better?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Could
maybe
be.
a bit too close.
No, I think it's still there a little bit, but that doesn't matter. I love hearing myself talk.
Yeah, it's still there actually, Matt.
I've done nothing to usual. Is that better?
LJ, try talking.
I can always try to talk. No, it's still there. Let's just move on and see
Yeah,
what
let's move
we get
on.
out of it. We can blame Matt after the podcast.
Oh yeah. For the listeners, blame everything on Matt.
Always.
The software I now have to filter out any buzzing it can't overcome what Matt is doing right now.
Nothing can overcome what Matt is doing.
Exactly. So even if we go for the median length beta, longer than Cataclysm. Holy crap.
Yeah.
I think the problem with Cataclysm was Cataclysm seemed a hell of a lot longer than it actually was.
Mm-hmm.
That's because it was so boring, of course.
Yeah, that's because they spent so much more time on the premise of, oh my god, this is going to be such a different map. This is going to be so good. We're changing the entire world, and then forgot that we're meant to actually raid in between that as well, and it just
they did a lot of fine tuning in that expansion as a whole, but they forgot to actually give people content.
Yeah, and the only content they gave ended up being sort of hashed, repeated content, and then they ended up with Dragonstone.
Oh joy. Dragonstone.
Let's not talk about Dragonstone because I think we can stay here for the whole night about that.
Well, if I'm right in looking at these posts, not including the beta, if you do actually look at so
look at the third one. That's Mists of Pandaria as it is right now.
yeah, it is.
Siege of Orgrimmar is already almost as long as Throne of Thunder, and there's no beta yet.
If it's going to continue much longer, it's going to be longer than the original first patch ever of the game. Release.
Yeah.
Or the first of Cataclysm, which lasted very long. Over 200 days. But this is now also on almost 200 days by the looks of it, so yeah.
Which is now depressing.
Yes, it is.
This actually, seeing this and talking about it really makes it more depressing.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Let's put it into perspective and go just to the raid days between last raid tier and the day of the beta start. Which should be here from Twitter from Adam Holiski. For Vanilla WoW, when the last patch came out, the Burning Crusade beta started after just 51 days. For the Wrath of the Lich King beta to start, after what I guess is Sunwell patch 2.4, that was Sunwell, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it took 114 days to get to the Wrath beta, which is a hell of a long time. Now, for the last Wrath of the Lich King patch, just 8 days after that, the Cataclysm beta was launched. And then from Cataclysm to the Mists beta, it was 113 days. Now, both 113 and 114 days are pretty long times for the beta to come out after the last patch, because you have to wait for the content then longer. We are currently in patch 5.4. They have indicated there won't be any more patches. And how many days has it been? Well, adding 1 day to this graph, because this one was from yesterday, 193 days. That's rough, almost 3 months more than the longest time between patch and beta. What the hell?
Pretty much, that's it all.
Yeah. What else can you say about it? The only thing that can justify it at this point is that there's going to be more content, more features than they had told us at BlizzCon. Because now it's just, why not? Longest raid tier ever.
I think that it needs to. They really need to come up with something like I said. I mean, of course you can keep saying, yeah, we need to postpone it because we want to deliver a good product. But everybody, I mean, has a point that they say, okay, you have to release it now, otherwise I don't care about how good the product is. I'm still going to be very disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
It's been so late, or insert reason.
Yeah. So let's say that had they pushed a new feature from 5.4 to Warlords of Draenor. That's the last that Ghost Crawler ever said about the new feature he was going to be proud of, or something like that.
Yeah.
Matt, what do you think that feature could be, if that is what's causing the delay? Which, at this point, is of course pure speculation.
I honestly would not know because they can't. Everything they've announced so far, they've already said they're basically changing a lot of the stats. They're doing the crunch. They're doing this. They're doing that. They've announced a hell of a lot already. Now, it is all right saying that they're announcing a lot already, but I don't know what I could think of which would actually come in that would make it go for much longer. The one thing we have said before is something that they've all said is a good idea is subclasses on races, giving people a bit more choice, a bit more diversity in just being a dwarf. You can be a specific type of dwarf, which I do believe a lot of people would like.
Yeah.
How much extra work that would be? It probably would be a fair bit of extra work if you actually look at the amount of effort they're putting into the character models at the moment, and how long the character models are taking to sort out.
Could they also be a possible reason of delay, the character models?
They've released almost all of them now, haven't they?
No, they still have a lot to do.
They've only done what we've got. We've only got, I think, half of them. I've not seen any updated Night Elf ones. I've not seen.
Lots of Horde ones.
They made true. They released, what was it, the
Dwarf,
female
the
dwarf?
gnome, no human yet. The orc. That's it, I think. Oh, they have released the female human.
Yeah. The female human.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. True.
So they have a lot to go. So did they perhaps decide that... because the first they said, we probably won't even release them all at the same time, but as the expansion goes on, we'll release more character models. Have they maybe gone back on that, and have they said that, okay, for this expansion, as it is one of our main features for it, we're going to release it with all the new character models? That would...
It could be. It could be. I think that may also be a better idea on the whole to actually do that. To do that in one go, because otherwise, well, you might have complaining people or people who want to switch, because the other one looks better. But I think that it's a weird idea.
Yeah.
I think weird is the best word for it, to actually say, like, okay, we have done half, we'll put those in now and then half later. I mean, that's not really the Blizzard style. The more I know of them, it's like, we do everything now, and if it's shitty, we'll update it later. But I mean, they always implement something as a whole.
Yeah.
Or they release it, or they're going to release it on fixed days, like a raid instance, for instance, like with Looking for Raid or something, that that it's going to take a couple of weeks. But now it's just it's not like that with this. I think with the character models.
Yeah. The last... actually, there's two things I want to say / propose. The unannounced feature could very well be the Time Walker thing, being level adjusted to the raid instance or dungeon. That would be, I guess,
that
sort
you
of a
could play,
justifiable feature to increase the time we have to spend in Orgrimmar.
Yeah, that you can play all the old raids and such.
Yeah. Because that would give a hell of a lot of new content to play.
Yeah, it would. I mean, it would really make all things playable again. But then you'd have to see how they do it with... loot, of course, they can't have that, but you can still play all instances at the difficulty they were. So I really look forward to something like that. That
Yeah.
sounds really awesome, like Karazhan alone.
My only issue with that is it really a type of announcement, or is it really something that would delay it by so long? Like people are getting annoyed at the minute, and people are making the decisions at the moment purely based on the fact that we got told by Blizzard, by that lovely man in a nice T-shirt. I can't remember who he was. Which I'll probably burn for not remembering who he is for that. But he sat there, he stood there actually on stage being really happy, really nice, and all this type of stuff. And this is before the other really, really happy man came on. Again, I've completely forgot his name.
Yeah.
And he sat there and stood and went, "You will be getting this. This is going to be amazing."
Oh yeah.
And at which point, everyone
Bashiok replied to that actually today on Reddit, wasn't it? Yeah, I linked that to you on Reddit. So,
Which I was shocked of because you don't like Reddit.
so yeah, the following was said. Someone commented, I guess I misunderstood Bobby Kotick, I guess, when he said, to address this, we're working to release new content more frequently to keep our players engaged longer and make it easier for lapsed players to come back into the game. Bashiok then replied to it, and it's quite infuriating after the sense they gave us at BlizzCon. Yeah, I suppose, because that's not the promise, that's an intention to improve. Well, that's one hell of an intention that's failed.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
wow.
'Cause
So, let's get this straight. They are working on Warlords of Draenor and the expansion after Warlords of Draenor. They have a team on that already. So why the hell aren't they taking the people off of the expansion 6? It's 6, right? Yeah, 6.
Yeah.
And putting them on, right now, Mr. Pandaria to give us an additional patch. Give us something to do.
It does. It just seems a little bit strange at the moment where it's almost they know what they've said. They know they've built a rod for their own back, which is fair enough. They know this. But with knowing this, it's almost like they've just happily sat there and gone, well, we know this, we know what we're meant to do, but now we'll just start making excuses. And it is worrying. It's worrying that it's taken so long. It's worrying that at this time of day they've announced nothing. They've said very, very little.
It's also very un-Blizzard-like, to be honest. It's like I know they want to improve a lot of things. I don't know if something internally has happened there, but it sounds like a different company that was 2, 3, 4 years ago.
Well, the one big thing that did happen is that they bought part of or all of their shares back from Vivendi, I believe it was.
Yeah, that went
put
bankrupt.
them
bankrupt,
back
right?
a lot financially.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine that having an effect on the developers themselves, though.
Well, you never know how that can play out. Of course, I mean there could be more pressure from management, especially now that they've fused with Activision, or fused that Activision took them over, but they still have a very big part. I mean, Bobby Kotick himself has been known as a dictator in the gaming world, basically. I mean. I've never been a huge fan of him, so yeah, I mean that goes to show that alone. But it's still, you never know what could happen, and I think it's good that they want to improve so much, and that they want to improve the whole game production as well. Like they're already starting for the next and such. I think that's good, but you need to be also focused on the here and now. And like you said, if you're so focusing on the next expansion, but you're neglecting this expansion, who says there's going to be a next expansion if so many people are going to quit? Of course, there's going to be a next expansion. I mean, that's not going to be a problem. But it's just also from a business perspective and from a money perspective that it's not always wise to focus too much on the future and then leave the past for what it is.
Yeah, they're really. Or Matt, I don't know if you want to say anything.
No, I sort of agree with that. It just seems a little bit that it's all right having a team on the next expansion. That is brilliant, and they've done that they've done that all the time. They have always had an extra person on the new expansion.
Yeah,
which
but now
is,
they're more focusing, aren't
yeah,
they?
but now they're more focusing. But if they kept people fully informed and also um, focused on a new expansion, then fair enough. No one would have any arguments. I think the issue people are having at the moment is everybody feels that they've just been abandoned. All the PvEers feel they've just been abandoned because they've actually given the PvPers an extra season, something else to do to keep them occupied for a while. Slightly
Yeah.
better item level, slightly more stuff to look for. So they've actually given them something to do. They've not announced anything. If they said beta will be out in a month, even if it's a month away, people would at least be happy because they'd have some form of information.
They'd have perspective on
They'd
it.
have perspective, they'd have some form of information, they'd be able to sit there and go, actually, we've already been told this, it's there in a month. Brilliant, we can wait now, work it out from there. But they are just saying nothing. I think that is the main issue. It's just the complete silence from them. And they for some reason, they've got it in the head that it's acceptable to release one or two things every now and then.
Yeah, and the feeling I really get is they're really artificially trying to prolong the lifespan of Siege of Orgrimmar because of the subject we're about to get into, and the fact that with the level 90 pre-order release thing, being able to boost the character up already to give you a new player to play on. New character, I mean. So let's end it with the following tweet from Celestalon, which is from about, I guess, now an hour ago. Which is quite frustrating. I'll put it back on the screen. What EDM song is fitting to loop while writing patch notes today? Really, Celestalon? Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Well,
What
that's
what
always a bit
song
of taunting
did it
is always
say?
fun. Which song is best to loop? So he's actually asking for music while taunting people that he's
About
writing
patch notes.
patch notes.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's evil.
Yes, he's
I think you need to be-
extremely evil.
I think you need to be ill if you want to work at Blizzard. So, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
there's such a wonderful
But that's
opportunity.
all gamers, really. We all have a sense of sarcasm and wanting to, maybe, well, not heckle, but what would be the right term? To poke at other people. I think that's a good way
Yeah.
to say it.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, it doesn't mean you have to like it.
Yeah. So let's move on to Orgrimmar, because we're going to be there for a while anyway. Siege of Orgrimmar is now doable on both normal and heroic in Cross Realm. So, if you have friends on other realms and you want to raid with them, you can. In current content.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, I've actually tried that with, or at least did a looking for raid with somebody, 2-on-1 server, me, a friend on this server, and a friend on another server, and it went perfectly.
LFR already worked though. Both LFR
Okay.
and Flex were cross realm.
Okay, so now it's the real
current-
raiding.
Yes, the current progression rating can now be done cross realm. I guess it helps with the recruitment for mythic raiding. People can already start running raids with you. But what the hell is going on? Has never happened. It's always been current raid tiers will not be cross realm to not interfere with the progression races and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's unless they think it's now got to the stage where progression isn't really what they're worrying about. Now, there's multiple ways you can read it. One is they are trying to help guilds, because I think it is. You've got to admit, it's got to be a very good tool for guilds trying to recruit cross realm, because they can actually say, "Come to our raid next week. We'll try you out." It means you don't have to waste 15 quid on a transfer. We can see what you like before you come out. We'll have a couple of raids, hunky dory sorted. So it's that way is all right, but then again, you're still not going to you're not going to be getting the same dynamic. You're not going to really see what the people are like, but you know how they raid.
You don't get a bond with them either.
Yeah, you
They're
don't get
kind
on.
of just the guy from the other realm.
Yeah, the tribe from the other realm. But then it is a very, very strange move. They've never done it before. Then again, you say they've never done it before. The old cross realm thing's only really come mainly this expansion, so I'm not that bothered by that. But again, it just seems a silly. It seems a pointless change. It doesn't really seem to. The only thing I can think of, and hope beyond hope, that it may be an inkling that it might be doing the expansion sooner rather than later. Because
with a very short beta.
Yeah, with a short beta, because a lot's done. You never know. That's the only thing I'm thinking, really, because at the moment we've got what? Hello? Weird
Hi.
noise.
I think that was LJ.
I
Oh,
was just moving my headset for my
sorry.
Yeah,
It sounded
that's
like
definitely LJ.
okay, that's scaring me. No, apart from the weird noise, we're in a situation where there's a lot of restless people out there, and devil's advocate and probably being slightly, I don't know, pessimistic about it. They may be doing this as some kind of premise, try and get people off the back a little bit, just try and think, if we release this now, people might start thinking, oh, the expansion's coming around the corner, and it will give them like another couple of weeks, another couple of months leeway
To
in
save
trying to,
face.
to save face.
That's what I was thinking as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make logistical. It's one of these things. Does it make logistical sense? Doesn't it make logistical sense?
From a guild perspective, I think it's okay. There's upsides and downsides to it. The upside is that yes, you can test people out quicker with inviting them via real ID. The downside is, and I think that's going to be an unintended change if they keep it around in Warlords of Draenor as well, and that's the whole bond thing is missing. People can very easily say, even after just one raid, you know what, they're not progressing fast enough or something like that. It doesn't. It gives less value to choosing a new guild.
Yeah.
And that's sad because that's part of joining a guild, huh? Toughening it out with them.
Yeah, but I think it also it gives a lot more possibilities to people who maybe are stuck in a guild that they don't want to be in, but they are stuck on the server, or that it gives a lot of more possibilities to people who are, I don't know, have less money to actually server change right now. I mean, there are a lot of things that you need to think about in something like this. I think it is it's one of those, well, maybe not very small, but it's like a minor change, more or less, that can definitely change a lot of gameplay. I mean, I certainly would like it. I mean, it doesn't mean that you're restricted to a server. I mean, they've been working that border away for a long time now. I mean, with stuff like looking for raid and the instance finder and stuff like that. I mean, it's more or less they are just taking away. They're just saying, okay, you're on a realm, but nowadays that doesn't say anymore. It's just a place where your character is stored. But if your friends are on a different realm, you can have fun with them anyways, with the others anyways. For instance, if those friends started playing later than you.
Yeah.
Could it be premised to like cross-realm guilds or anything like that? Because
it could be a next step.
Because I'm looking at other other games and other stuff. I was watching. I don't know if it was just a beta thing, but LJ, when we did the Elder Scrolls beta,
yeah,
the guild that I joined, I don't know if you were in there as well. They were.
I'm not sure.
That was actually a cross-faction guild.
Okay.
Where there were actually a guild leveling, and people on one faction, people on the other faction. It just didn't matter. As soon as you joined on one faction, you were a member of that guild.
Okay.
Which was a pretty cool little thing. But then again, would a cross-server guild, that may be the future of it, that may be what they're looking at too. Maybe this doing the whole cross-realm raiding might be pushing towards it. I don't know. I just think that to save face, they need to pull a rabbit out of the hat and have a really good reason for it.
Yeah.
Well, who knows with what that tweet earlier? Who knows what they'll what's being written down right
Hang
now?
on. Thinking about it, wasn't there a tweet like a couple of weeks ago saying about working on patch notes and stuff like that? And didn't they announce the technical alpha of Heroes of the Storm soon after?
Could be.
So
I can't remember that specific tweet or what happened there, but yeah.
I believe that was from the Rigarius, the one with the hippogriff icon.
Yeah.
So
There's no point asking me.
We won't.
yeah, we won't. I think let's leave it at that.
I'm here for the looks.
Yeah, as a Wookiee, yeah, definitely. So
Well, yeah.
I don't know. I don't like it because it's change and not necessarily good for guilds. It's good for players, but from a guild's perspective, it can have some real consequences in the long term if this keeps up. So, yeah. That's all I really have to say about it. I'm not convinced that's such a great thing. I think there's definite value in servers. Being on a particular server and having a bond with that.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it the way it was, like it used to be. I mean, but we've grown up with that. We know that, like, the realm back then was everything. It was your whole community. It was the people you loved and hated. But more and more, Blizzard has been trying to work that border away with all the patches and all the different changes. I mean, a lot, the whole game, if we would start playing now or compared to like 8, 9, 10 years ago, I mean, the whole game has changed so immensely that realm for us has a very different meaning to players who start today. And that doesn't necessarily mean that ours is better or that theirs is better, to be honest.
Of course it does.
It just means that we're
My
different.
leatherworking one was amazing. But no, well, it could be. That could be something. They may be trying to merge, I say merge, but they may be trying to sort of erode away the boundary between servers a bit more. That could be something they are going to announce, and that could be something that would take a fair bit more time. You've got to think about it as well. We're having no like server first now, are we? It's only going to be raiding.
Yeah.
Where I'm server first on. Which do I agree with? Probably not. But
it had a charm to it.
Yeah, it had a charm to it. People actually enjoyed going for them. It wasn't just like, okay. It was normally the person that was bored enough to put too much time into it. Fair enough. But
yeah. Or achievement junkies like you two.
Well, I haven't been an achievement junkie this expansion.
Exactly.
That ship has
this
sailed
expansion
for me. Yeah.
I've never been an achievement junkie. I was just off that day and was very, very bored. So I thought, let's raid. That's the level all night.
That's level skin, man. Skinning. What was it? Lord Leatherworking.
I leveled leatherworking in the end only because I was meant to be leveling skinning, and the person at level was meant to be doing leatherworking fell asleep and couldn't do it. So for the guilds, I sacrificed the skinning aspect and did leatherworking instead.
Yeah.
Well, it's something, huh?
Yeah, we are getting a bit off topic, but funnily enough, this off topic brings us right into the discussion points. Great segue, guys.
It was always meant like that.
Of course, definitely. All thought through. So, this week's discussion points. Very simple question, or two-part question rather. Why do you still play WoW? And what do you do in WoW?
I have nothing else better to do.
Matt, why do you still play WoW?
I have not got a clue.
Oh man.
No,
What a discussion points.
well, you know, it is a quite good discussion because it sort of makes us all feel self pity, and we'll sit here going, "Why don't we still do this?"
Yeah.
I don't know. I just have a lot of fun with it.
Well,
Right, going seriously onto it, I
Yeah.
do enjoy raiding. I've always done it to raid. There have been times when I've not raided and tried to play and didn't enjoy it at the time, and then we had a little raid and used to have a social raid, which I quite liked again because it was raiding and stuff like that. But with regards to every day on the game, at the moment I'm playing now. While we're doing this podcast, I'm flying around mining because I've thought, you know what, I'm a bit skint on this game. I might as well try and make a bit of money. No one knows what's going to happen with garrisons on the expansion, so let's make a bit of moolah. So that's the only reason I'm playing this at the moment.
Well,
all right.
like I said before to you guys, extra money is never a bad thing to have.
Yeah. So, LJ, have you come up with a answer yet, or do you want me to go first?
No. It's difficult to actually describe why you still play it. Maybe part of it is just you're so used to it playing for this long. The other part is that you have a lot of a lot of people. You just enjoy doing it. It's a lot of different things. It's difficult to actually just narrow it down to something. But it's just basically
It doesn't have to be one thing. You can go on a
of
whole
course.
story.
Well, do you have time?
Yeah.
No, but
Why do you think I play WoW?
Yeah, true. We have time. We have enough time. No, but it's. I like so many aspects of the game because it's so diverse. But like you guys know, I love leveling in this game. I just leveled a shaman, a goblin shaman to level 60, so I could use the boost to get the professions in under a whole day in 22 hours. So I mean, I love leveling, and that's one aspect. But I love all the other stuff. Like, I mean, even now talking about it, I like it because well, I have so much time invested in this game. I calculated the other day, and I had about 10,000 hours in this game. I mean,
Damn.
that's a large part of your life.
Yeah.
And it's also part that you don't want to give up anymore. I've had times that I want just stopped for a moment for 1, 2, 3 months, something like that. I think the longest was 3 months in one go. But I always seem to come back to this place, and often when I come back, I come with extra fervor to put it like that, with extra feeling, and yeah, I don't know. It's just also like back. My interest of shift, of course, as well. Like everybody, like I've said so many times before, that I was a core raider before, with you guys, but I switched to social rating, and that got me back into the game as well because I just didn't like core rating anymore, and the social rating and the social guild element just got me back into the game again, and that's basically the second time they've done that because I mean it's just the social aspect of this game. I mean, I'm not saying that every person who plays this game is a loner or whatever, but it's just I like it like this with people from different cultures, speaking with them the whole time, doing games with them. I mean, with those people in the social guild, I don't only play WoW now, but we also play Dota or Civilization 5 or whatever. I mean, we've played a lot of games now together. So it's just WoW has become part of my daily life, and I don't think I can really uh, get rid of it anymore, if you want to put it like that.
Yeah.
Well, I've adding to that, and this is the one thing I will say, and I think LJ will agree. I think we've mentioned this before. There is one reason why we all play WoW. Like, you can say there's so many reasons that, like LJ. If you've ever seen that episode of The Man with No Life regarding South Park, that is LJ.
It's not that bad.
When it comes to leveling, LJ.
When it comes to leveling, but for the rest.
For the rest, I did say when it comes to leveling, that is LJ.
I don't know. I just like I like it and I'm good at it. I mean, I can help you guys are jealous.
But no, but
I've got a few more characters you can level for me.
Sure, if you pay me.
I'm pretty positive that we all play this game for one reason, and that is the community. Now, I know the people. Well, even Mark Mezzi's begun to know the people that LJ the social guild. I get on with them all as well. They're a very nice bunch of people, and the people we raid within the Aurum that we've known, most of these people, well, a lot of the guild I've known for a fair while. Mezzy's known for a fair while. We're getting a few new people in now, but we've all known for a while, if you know what I mean. So it is one of these things where we play the game because, one, yes, we enjoy the game when we play it, but mainly it's for the social aspect of the game. And I've said this before, if like Aurum, if Anti-Clockwise or the little social guild, if we all decided to play a different game, let's put it this way, like Mezzy known, Elder Scroll comes out next in a couple of weeks. If everyone in those guilds said, "I'm going to play Elder Scrolls," I think that we would all start playing Elder Scrolls. We would not miss WoW because we'd all be doing something together, and we'd all have that social aspect. The reason we default back to WoW is that 9 times out of 10 when we play a different game, I think 9 times out of 10 when we play a different game, we've just got to the stage where we've thought, no, all right, and either a few of us, maybe half of us have like, Final Fantasy was one of them, where actually, realistically, me, I think you, LJ, Seb, someone else, there's about 4 or 5 of us who really, really enjoyed the game.
Yeah.
And but unfortunately, with the amount of people that was there, the classes we just couldn't, because we never really planned it. But I seriously say, if we ever planned and wanted to play a different game, we wouldn't play WoW. WoW's there, if you know what I mean. It's there. We've got our level 90s. We've got our experience on it. Yeah, it's the safe bet. We know what it is, and I think that is the main thing that I was going for at the moment. It's the safe option. It's the safety net. Are people now going to start spending like this? You look at every game that comes out. You're looking at spending in English, but 30 quid, 40 euros, probably $50. I don't know. You're looking at those values to start another game. Yeah. And only some of these games are free to play. Guild Wars. Now, I don't know who's played Guild Wars. I have. LJ has. Now, I think LJ, my next statement about Guild Wars is a model. I think you'll agree. Guild Wars is a beautiful game. It is a game that actually works quite well. The combat is brilliant, but there is nothing end game apart from PvP and storyline, and it gives you no incentive to play the game whatsoever. Now, the reason I mention this is because it's the pay model that game is. We subscribe to WoW because that's the game we subscribe to. There's not many people out there that subscribe to more than one game. Guild Wars is a free-to-play game. We still don't play it because I've got WoW. So,
yeah.
Safe bet. People are there. But I do think if we all decided to go somewhere else, then we would not play WoW because we'd be happy there because our safety net would move.
Yeah. Wow. I gotta say, comparing myself to you two, then maybe I should quit. I gotta be honest. I'll be quite honest. If it wasn't for the Guild Aurum and me being in the officer team to keep things running, and now the podcast WoW Weekly because I need to keep up to date with stuff for this.
To be fair, if you weren't playing WoW, it wouldn't be a very good podcast.
Exactly. I probably should have stopped with WoW by now then, because the social aspect, although nostalgia, I love it a lot, I kind of don't care for it as much anymore. I have come to despise people more and more. And I'm being completely honest.
I almost thought that wasn't even possible anymore with how much you already hated people.
Yeah,
Some more people you don't like?
And then there's the fact that more and more I just judge people on their playing skill in all games. If they don't play well, if they screw up a lot, I really don't care for them. I start to not like them because I just want to get the best done and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, no, those things don't apply anymore because that used to be it for me as well. But now and games such as Dota as well. It's become more of a sport for me, and in sports, I want to win. I want to win badly. So yeah, LJ will know my frustrations in Dota sometimes.
Oh, definitely. I share those frustrations, and I am sometimes just as I especially I used to be as competitive, especially with Dota and such. I still
Hmm.
am to a certain degree, but I don't know. It's I just also start seeing more of the fun in it as well. Though I still like to just win a game and you know like I did earlier 2 games with Matt. Those were awesome.
That was good.
We
Well,
actually made the other players leave.
this is what I mean though. Now, I'm not. I completely agree with you. The performance of, but all that you asked why we still play WoW,
Hmm.
and all I'm saying, for me, the only reason I play WoW at the minute is really down to the community because, as I said, I raid with a decent bunch of people. I know a decent bunch of people on here, and that's why I said if we all decided to go to a different game, we would quite happily play that game. We would quite happily play that. It almost happened with Star Wars,
Yeah,
and we've
we were
slated it.
pretty close with that.
It was very very close to Star Wars. Me and LJ were in a nice little guild. It was all working. We were just getting close to starting to raid on that game. Just when everything like people stopped playing because of personal lives, and it wasn't actually the game that made people quit, and that was the thing. It was actually like the guild leader got a girlfriend of all things. Oh my god! But you know, what I mean, he then got a personal life, and then work got involved in some people. So, and then because the main people weren't on, a couple of other people thought, "Oh, I can't be arsed now." They left the guild, and it fell apart. But that was very close to us staying there for a bit longer, and May not coming back to WoW because we all quite enjoyed it.
Yep,
Yeah.
I did at least.
Yeah, so I guess there's two camps really. You guys for the social aspect of it, me for the sport. And if it wasn't for my um, loyalty and stuff like that, and the talking about it as such the podcast I really enjoy, but I love doing that for other games as well. With the shoutcasts, which we'll be recording of a new one tomorrow, and an occasional editorial because of my love for game design. That's what keeps me going in WoW. But the game itself and the community behind it really don't do it for me anymore.
So pretty
Outside,
much
outside of the rating, I don't log on.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Say the only reason I've logged on out of raiding recently is to it's all related to social aspects.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. Like I log on my little horde on my Therodon that I'm leveling again to 60 so I can get the free boost because we've all decided. I think you're leveling one on there as well.
Yeah.
We've just all decided because we all play Alliance. We've never really had a horde. I think LJ started horde, but myself, I've never really had a horde character, so I want to start. I want to see what it was like the leveling on the horde side, and two, it would be quite. We're all going to have a horde character, so that was my. That's the only
Yeah.
other reason I log on.
Yeah.
Everything else is sort of community related. If think that's community related because it's the community that we surround ourselves with want to do that. So okay, fair enough, we'll do that. Then I'm looking at it now and I'm just thinking, oh well, I've got nothing else to do. Let's just fly around doing the podcast, get some materials, and try and make a bit of money for. You never know what happens for when garrisons come in and stuff like that. So, but apart from that, I have no interest in the game whatsoever. I've just tried. I try and level other characters. Try not. I've got, I think 5 or 6 level 90s. It's not say they're not all geared. I've got one decently geared one. I've got one okay geared one and one all right geared one. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The rest aren't pretty decent at all. They're all in probably time style gear. But there's no really incentive to play it anymore. There's nothing flexy. I actually did flexi last night for the first time in a while. That was fun. So, yeah,
I think we should just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Either you do it for the sports, or you do it for the community behind it. At least for us three, at this point.
Yeah.
Because I
If
agree.
the game isn't new for you anymore, that's what it comes down to. Or
When
you're
it
going
comes
to
to
quit.
Dota, I agree with you. I've not got nearly the hours that you two have on Dota. But
Nope.
I will say this, and I'm getting better at it, but when I play it, I want to win because it really winds me up when I start being crap at it.
Or when other people don't call out that someone's missing.
Yeah.
That's always fun. Hey! Wait, no,
Hey.
you don't mean me, right? Oh,
I don't mean you. You know who I mean.
I know who you mean.
So,
That was so freaking frustrating. Anyway. Finish your thought about Dota, Matt.
No, but I agree with you. I ironically, for some reason, clicked on for about the first 30 seconds. There's a Valve documentary. I don't know if you've seen it on Steam.
Free to play.
Yeah.
Free to play.
I haven't seen it yet, but
the gist of that is all about the online community, the online free to play games, the actual esports and that type of stuff. And that's what it looks like it's about, and that is the competitive side of things. The races are the reason. When there's an expansion when the expansion comes on, I know for a fact I will cane to get to the highest level, and that is not for the fact that there's a race anymore. There isn't a race. It's just for the sort of unofficial race, if you know what I mean. I still want to be the first level 90 on the server. I still want to be one of the level 100, on the server.
Yeah, I'm still going to do that still.
Yeah, even though you've not got a race or anything official thing for it,
Unofficially.
Unofficially, I still like to be one of the first on the server to get everything sorted. It's just that's the competitive side of it. And with raiding, I think the problem we've got now with ourselves, and I think you'll agree with me on this, is that we've had a fair few issues in the guild with tanks and everything like this, which is unfortunate. But due to that, the competition aspect is going out of it. So that's why you sort of float a little bit. And that's
the motivation is gone in that sense.
I log on to raid. That is pretty much it. Every now and then I'll log on, say hello, take the mick out of Mezzy or something, and
even if I'm not online, because
even if it's not online, and I will just happily run around, float around, doing bits on there if needed. Nothing on the game excites me apart from raiding, if you know what I mean. What choice do you have? LFR is the most painful experience known to man.
LFR is so much fun. I mean,
what you should do,
the nice people in there, and
what you should do to criminals on the planet is not put them into jail. Is make them do an LFR on a Tuesday.
Tuesday, oh God.
Yeah.
Make them do an
Mother of all
LFR on a
days.
Tuesday over and over again. And they will soon repent for their actions.
Oh, yes, they will.
I think so as well, yeah.
And I'm sorry, this isn't me being elitist. This is me just being cranky with LFR. It's just, you do LFR, you do fights, and then you realise that you always get the same 5 people. 5 separate people who think they know everything.
Well, let me be pure elitist then. People in LFR suck. Improve. Damn it.
So, but then
become better players.
Then you've got the whole thing.
Give a crap.
Well, yeah. Then I think, shall I start a flexi? Nah, really can't be asked. Too much time.
Yeah.
What should I do? Well, let's play Dota. Or let's play Diablo. I'm actually quite enjoying Diablo at the moment. But I say, my last statement about why do I still play WoW and all this type of stuff about the Siege of Ogma and all that crap is, and this is what Blizzard want people to know. Do you know there's a Diablo expansion coming out soon?
Yeah. They're really trying to divert people's attention to Diablo, Hearthstone, and Heroes of the Storm at the moment.
Oh, yes, they are.
Yep.
Play Hearthstone. Buy a pack. Please buy a pack.
So yeah,
Buy more packs.
Buy more packs.
Why did you stop buying packs?
Ask Mezzy why he bought 30 packs.
that was 40, and that was in the beta. And screw you. Yeah, I think it's time to leave
Yeah.
it there.
I think so too.
Thanks for watching. This was WoW Weekly episode number 27. Let
Can we
us know
change it to counselling?
let us know in the comments why you still play WoW. What attracts you to it? Or is it also just out of loyalty to your friends? Or are there aspects of the game that you still actually like to come back to? Are you an achievement hunter still, for example? Which I gave up at the start of Mists of Pandaria. So just let us know in the comments. If you liked this video, please subscribe and like the video. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/WoWweekly. Normally we have a lot of articles weekly, at least these days, out on the website, but due to the big lack of news, yeah, there hasn't been a lot. So like it anyway, and keep updates. Keep updated for when things do come out. You can also follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/bbmezzy, and the website wowweekly.net. I think that's all the plugs for this week. Oh no, one more. Tomorrow you should be seeing a new shoutcast of a Heroes of the Storm match coming out with myself and LJ. So check that out once it's on YouTube. Thanks to LJ and Matt for joining me tonight.
Happy to be here.
Happy to be here. Thank you very much, darling.
He managed to get it in
He
at the
did it.
last moment. Damn it, Matt. Damn it. Thanks for listening or watching, and we'll see you again next time.
I beat the 5-second rule.